think having the relationships with the providers and really making sure like you're in there in the trenches with your team and really getting that feedback and making sure that it's not something that's just benefiting you administratively, right? You really do have to have that collaboration. And I'll kind of repeat myself on what I said before, but I do think making sure that you're reinforcing with the team that like it does take time and like the benefit in the end is worth the time and the investment. So both on the administrative side and the clinician side, I think that that's really important. Just keep reminding yourself as well as your providers as they're working with the tool.
Completely agree. And I think for me, one of the things that I have learned working with you, I have to say this, is how AI, if you're having any discussion on AI adoption, it's not a technical conversation.
Mhm.
It's an operational conversation. There
Mhm.
are a lot of moving parts to it. There are people involved. And to get any success in a large organization such as Dent, you gotta work from ground up. You
Mhm.
you have to do the heavy lifting, you have to do the trainings, you have to be ready to customize at a provider level, at a user level, and have the ability to, I guess, evolve as the organization needs change. And that was
Yeah.
sort of like a PhD, I like to call it, doing a PhD in this domain. We kind of ended
Mhm.
up doing a PhD working with you guys and learning how it's definitely not a technology conversation that one has
Yeah.
when they're trying
Yeah.
to work with larger healthcare groups such as that.
I think when you said it, I will go back to like our very initial like conversations with you guys, and I remember specifically saying like we and I pride myself in it. Like we hold our clinicians' hands, right? Like we really do. And so I think I said early on to you, like the communication can go through me, right? Like, and it wasn't to be a barrier to my providers. I think they're all obviously phenomenal individuals and very intelligent and they can do it. They're busy. They're in clinic. So to go back to the advice thing, if I could say, if you can designate a person that's going to champion your program administratively, that's doing all of the heavy lifting in the communication with the Marvix team, making sure that you're organizing those trainings, you're hand holding, like maybe you're working with the secretary to find a training time for that provider. If you're waiting on the provider to set up their own training times, if to, send over their notes for the AI to digest, all that stuff, like it's gonna take way longer and it's not gonna be as successful. So I think even now when I talk to providers, I'll say like if they're autonomous and they want to just click the chat button and communicate with the Marvix team and say like this is what I'm looking for, more power to them. That's great. And I think a lot of them are really comfortable now doing that and they really see the success and like how responsive the Marvix team is for them. But I always say, like, I'm right here. If you just don't know how to articulate what you're looking for with the technology, or you want me to reach out because you've got to go see a patient, I think having a point person administratively is really, really important. And it doesn't have to be the director of clinic operations. It could be, someone more integrated in the like day to day managerially. Like it could be one
Yeah.
in each of your clinics. It doesn't have to be what my role is for this company, but I
Yeah.
think that's something important for success as well is making sure you're helping the providers articulate and have they know who they can go to outside of the Marvix team for help.